We have a problem with our CNC turning center. This has actually stopped in the middle of a program. LS4 error up on the control. LS4 is a limit switch inside the turret, and it is the limit switch is what tells the control that it's very confusing to say is the turret the whole thing. I refer to this bit as a turret, but it's a Hardinge machine. Hardinge call these a top plate, even though it's on the end. But anyway, this piece, when it's indexed, should pull back, and the limit switch tells the control that it has done so, and if it hasn't done so, it throws the alarm. And we've had issues with the indexing for a while. Actually, ever since we've had it, I think. It's never been quite right, and it's been getting really, really bad lately. To the extent that at one time, instead of the LS4 alarm tripping the control and stopping the machine, it just carried on, and if the tools are, I don't know, 4mm further forward than they're meant to be, then it crashes. Basically, the tools hit the jaws of the chuck. So it's a good thing that this actually stopped in the program and didn't carry on and try to finish it. And I don't know if we can actually see that this has not pulled back. Oh, we need to get some light in here. I'm not sure whether this is showing up. That there is the feed for the coolant. Get some swarf out from behind here. I don't think it's the swarf that's causing us issues. I should flipping hope not. But yeah, can we see the gap there? There should not. This is a little rubber seal, and when the plate is pulled back, the seal should touch the back of here, and the coolant goes through. There's a whole bunch of holes on the back here, so each station has got a coolant hole. But yeah, at the moment there is a gap there. There is a gap here, which is a good way of telling that it's not pulled back in the right position. So what had been happening with this machine for quite a while was that if you watch it, which is difficult when it's running the coolant going and the door shut, you know, you really can't see what's going on when it's like that. But running it on a trial, you could see as this is indexing, it would, and it only works in this direction towards us. It's supposed to be able to run both ways according to where it needs to find the next station the quickest, but it only works in one direction. And you can see it would turn and it would overshoot, and in order for it to pull back that way, it would have to sort of twist back up as it's pulling in. And it seemed to be quite bad when we had a lot of the blocks. Can we see the? We've taken these blocks off up here. These are the center drill, reamer, counter boring tools that we use for one of the parts that we make with this machine. And those blocks add to the weight of this thing, and as it's indexing, the momentum carries it past where it needs to stop. And so we actually grab hold of this, And there's some wiggle going on here. Backlash between, that's fairly loose. So between the motor that actually turns the thing and this part itself, yeah, there's some slop in the drive. I did a bit of digging on the internet and found a forum where people were talking about this problem. Not on this particular machine, but Hardinge machines, later models than this. Somebody was trying to fix this indexing problem by going into the parameters in the control. And somebody else chipped in and said, oh, it sounds like what I had on my machine, where there were a couple of drive pins inside which would just worn out basically. Holes and pins wallowed, I think he called it. And well, I don't know if that's what we got here, or it's worn gears or keyways or whatever, but I don't think this should be doing this. And this amount of give, I think, is allowing it to come past the position where it should be in its indexing slot, and if it comes past, it will not pull back. And equally, if it doesn't come far enough, which is what's happened once we took the tools off, the heavy tools off, it seemed like this wasn't actually coming far enough with the external blocks up here. That weight was tending to make it come too far. I can actually push that, but I think I'm actually turning. I must be turning the motor. Oh gosh, it won't go back again now. I'll probably buggered this up completely. Oh, I don't know, maybe that is where it needs to be. I don't know. And now, oh, I don't know, something. Okay. I don't know if that is pulling into its location. Don't know what's wrong with it, don't know for sure, but it seems that mechanical backlash in here somewhere could be causing our problems. We did wonder if the control was playing up. In the heat, in the hot weather, because it doesn't like working when things are too hot. There have been other issues in the past. But it's cooled down a bit now, and this has not got any better. So I think we've got no choice but to get this thing stripped down and find out what's going on inside. I don't know of anybody personally who's capable of doing such things, so I'm thinking we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to try and take this apart, find out what's going on. Otherwise, we have a machine here which is a piece of scrap iron basically, because it's not doing what it needs to do for us. It's an old machine, very old, I think 1988 or something, so yeah, pretty old as far as these things goes. A bit like a car, you start getting problems with it, think, oh, let's trade it in for a new one. Not so easily done with these things, and there's still quite a chunk of money. I think this thing when it was new was about 30 grand, or it was advertised maybe 1990ish, something around that time. They were about 30 grand. And even if advances in production and getting them made in Taiwan or wherever has brought the price down in real terms, new ones are still going to be £30,000+. A second-hand one, I think we're looking at 10,000 probably, and we have all the hassle of getting one in our workshop, getting rid of this one, Yeah, I think first stage we're going to have to try and strip this out and find out what's going on with it. We may or may not be able to fix it, who knows. If it requires spare parts, they're likely not going to be available. We shall see.